Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our Impossible Landscapes playthrough. So good to have you with us. Tonight we are in our transition period between Act 1 and Act 2 of the campaign. And last week, the Scourge burned down the McAllister building and tried to destroy its link with the night floors. They're fairly confident that worked. I mean, it did destroy the building. Whether it destroyed the link or not is always difficult to tell. Tonight we're going to slip into a little 20-year interlude between 1995 and 2015 when we'll pick up with the main story. So we're going to kind of take a moment to go through and do an extended home, what they call it in the rules, home interlude or home vignette. They call them home vignettes. So basically the thing you do in Delta Green for like downtime to try to recover sanity and stuff, but it's going to be an extended 20-year one. So I asked the team to be thinking about what might be going on during that time. And now, I guess, without further ado, let's jump into it. So we're going to, each of you have 3 home pursuits that you're going to do during this time. And there's also going to be some degradation of your existing bonds. You're going to lose a bond, and you're going to gain a bond, just to sort of represent the passage of time. And because there's so much time passing during those the downtime things that you can choose, which are in the book that I didn't bother to pull out. We can get back to them in a minute. There'll be some modifications. So like if you need to make rolls, you'll have a plus 20% bonus because you've got more time to spend, things like that. So whenever you choose to do something, I may tell you, oh, here's a slight modification of the text in the main book. So first off, what do I want to do here? Let's just kind of go one at a time. So Tom, what were you thinking for Agent Gourmet for at least like the first thing that you would want to do? Grab that manual real quick, by the way.
Yeah. Well, let me find what I had done. What I had done first was I chose hard experience.
Oh yeah, that's another thing I forgot to mention. Thank you. Everybody will be getting you get 1 new damaged veteran thing, which is not part of your home pursuits. That's just like
sorry. I just went in the order I did.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, that's so choose one of the damaged veteran options from page 36. You all are getting that one. So you're doing the hard
experience.
Hard experience.
I already updated my sheet for those.
Perfect. Perfect. Because I mean, basically, you can, and that can be, of course, the experience you just went through, or it can be the culmination of that and all the other experiences you're having over the 20 years or so. So it doesn't necessarily have to be one particular thing, but if it is something in particular that you were thinking of, then we can go through that as well.
And what I did. Oh God.
Yeah, so I was just going to read out for everyone's benefit a few of the things that you can do, the personal pursuits that you can take during your downtime. You can fulfill responsibilities, which means like focusing on mundane shit that you have to deal with. Do some back to nature time, go camping or something like that. Establish a new bond, of course, which we're going to do anyway, but you may choose to do more than just the one new one that you're going to get, which is just to replace the one that you're going to lose. You can have some therapy to help gain back sanity and stuff. You can do some training to work on skills or stats. You can just indulge in your personal motivations, pick up a hobby, do something that will also is a way of gaining sanity. Though it does reduce bonds because you're focusing on me time. You can do some special training, which is a little bit different than the other training. It also reduces the bond because you're focusing so much on Delta Green stuff. But it allows you to do special training, pick up things that you normally couldn't. And you can do something that they call stay on the case. which is basically you don't take really any downtime. You continue working on whatever has been bothering you about something. Um, and then the other option is to study the unnatural. Like so, say you found a forbidden tome in the adventure that you kept hold of, or maybe you rescued the yellow sign from the box and you want to, I don't know, paint lots of copies of it all over your room or something. Um, that's a way to get your unnatural skill up. So, Tom, you were thinking of doing what for your first
Well,
personal thing?
I was going to do back to nature.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's going to take a leave from the Marshal Service.
Okay.
And he is going to return to Sweden to the spot where there was the plane crash that killed his family when he was a child.
Gotcha. I didn't realize that was in Sweden. That makes much more sense.
Yeah. Kind of returning to zero almost.
Okay, so what's that experience like for you?
He gets there. He realizes that he escaped death. He was the only survivor of the plane crash. He was left there as a child in the elements for several days until they found him. And there were stories, mostly told by bullies, that he had survived by eating the bodies of his fellow passengers. He gets there, again, is reflecting on how maybe he cheated death at this point, and wonders if maybe he was meant for greater things. Maybe that's why he was spared, and maybe some of the things he saw at the McAllister building are those promises of maybe something greater coming to him. So,
some deep reflection. Do you take anyone with you?
No, because absolutely by himself.
Definitely alone time. All right.
Yep.
So what? You spend like a couple weeks just kind of hanging out in the wilderness?
I'd say about a week or so. Just basically just camping.
Nice.
Just right about at the site. I mean, there's like maybe a ledge on a mountain or something like that. He just sets up his tent and just no communications, just nothing, just sort of meditating.
Beautiful. So that's going to reduce a bond by 1 point. So choose a bond that is not a Delta Green bond. So I don't think you have any bonds with the other.
I don't. No.
Like okay, yeah. So
I think
pick one of your bonds and reduce that, because you're going off alone, and you can describe, maybe depending on which bond it is, let us know why it's reduced by you going off on your own for a week.
I think in a way it's going to reduce the plane crash survivors group. That was the therapy group he had gone to since he was a child. And they may have suggested not doing this. Like, that would be like the absolute worst thing you want to do, is go back and inject yourself back into that trauma.
Especially alone. I bet they definitely didn't.
They say, everything they suggested to not do, he's done.
Yeah.
So I went from a 14 then to a 13 then.
All right.
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. And I already removed one of my bonds, his therapist.
That's going to be the one that you choose to lose?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then why don't we do that real quick while you've mentioned it?
Okay.
What happened between you and your therapist that killed this bond?
Well, he wasn't going to his appointments, especially while he was, with the team, the McAllister building. And he just felt he didn't need it anymore. Even though we know he probably needed more therapy. He felt maybe a little emboldened that, hey, I'm a grown man now. I've gotten over that trauma. And he's not a hard drinker. He's not an abuser or anything like that.
Right.
He just chooses to internalize everything, which is absolutely terrible, but that's his approach. and just felt he didn't need it. So he just canceled his appointments. She probably told him that wasn't a good idea. He ignored her and just cut off ties with her.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see then real quick. Because of your back to nature, you get to make a sanity test.
Okay.
And because we're in the special time, you will have a 20% bonus to the roll.
Okay. Now, I reached my breaking point last episode. I'm beneath it.
Oh, did you?
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
I wanted to make sure I was being honest.
Gotcha, yeah. So when you reach your breaking point, you're supposed to develop a disorder.
Yeah.
So we won't necessarily role play through that. Did that happen while you were in the night floors?
I think it was like the last sanity roll we did or something. Like,
gotcha. So
that's the one that took him down.
Yeah.
No. I know what it was. Excuse me. It's with the hard experience when I reduced my sanity by 5. That's what did it.
Okay.
So not really the night floors, but yeah.
So I think you still should pick up a disorder for that, but we don't have to worry about. So you can choose which. This actually, when you do the hard experience, it probably suggests a couple of things to do.
So the sanity roll.
Go ahead.
Am I still adding the 20 to it?
You still get a 20 to your roll.
Okay.
And normally you would gain 1 sanity on a failure or 1 D4 sanity on a success for this roll, but because of the special rules, you'll be getting double that. So you'll be getting 2 sanity back if you fail and 2 D4 if you succeed.
Nope, failed.
Okay, so it's a failed roll, but you still get 2 sanity back.
Okay, so I get 2 sanity back. Okay.
And you didn't fumble, so you didn't lose 2 D4. So that's good.
Okay, good. I got 2 back.
And you have a nice little trip out into the Swedish countryside. You stop back, pick up some chocolate at the airport, and head back with some gifts for the wife. And do you have kids?
He does not, and he is divorced.
And it's an ex-wife, I know. So it's like not. It's not like it's not lingerie or something, but it's like, I was over in another country here, honey.
Yeah,
we are still friends. Yeah,
yeah. She is still one of his bonds. They have remained in contact despite basically their marriage fell apart because of his job.
Yeah.
He just was never around. He was already an emotionally distant person to begin with. And police work just did not help with that. So,
okay. All right. So let's move on to Gaucher. Which damage veteran option did you want to pick up?
I believe. Apologies, I had it written down. Now I gotta go.
36.
Fine. Page 36. Yes, wonderful. Thank you. I believe I went with. I can't read. Apologies.
Extreme violence, captivity or imprisonment, hard experience, or things man was not meant to know.
Considering they don't know yet, but they've been experiencing it, I think hard experience would be the one that they went through.
Mm-hmm.
And as for the bond they lose, I would think it would be the church they went to, that community, quote, the Orthodox Cathedral of St. Sava. They had gone to it for years when they first came to the country, but after this experience, they kind of lost faith in a god, or at least one they understood.
Gotcha.
And they just slowly pulled away as they kept questioning things and trying to keep up with life in other ways.
Okay, yeah. That makes perfect sense. And Tom, to be clear, the loss of your therapist was because of the hard experience, not because of the one that everyone's losing. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to do that. Meant to delete that. Don't worry about that, folks. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So add boost your occult and any other 5 other skills that you want besides unnatural, and reduce your sanity by 5. That'll be your hard experience. So you've been over the 20 years or so been active in Delta Green and getting a lot, both of you, I guess, getting a lot of assignments, either with each other or without, and you're hitting a lot of hard experience. You're learning things, you're getting better, but you're also losing a bit of sanity doing so.
Hey, funny story. That sanity loss also brings me to my breaking point again.
Really? Okay, well, set up a new breaking point and pick a new disorder.
Yippee!
And maybe consider therapy for one of your 3 options.
Oh yeah,
maybe therapy 3 times wouldn't be so bad.
Maybe.
So on that note, what is your first personal pursuit that you want to pursue?
Well, it is therapy. Funny enough, I think Gaucher would try to go back to normal life and realize, especially with this moment of, hey, my brain not working. I think they realize they need to try and find a way to get some help without revealing Delta Green's existence.
Gotcha. So you're going to go the harder route of therapy without telling the truth.
Well, of course, they're an agent.
Well, there is the option. So when you do go to therapy, you have to decide whether you're going to tell them the truth or not. And telling the truth has its downsides.
Yeah, no.
But, at least you can be honest and you can get more out of the therapy. One of the downsides is that your therapist can lose sanity.
Listen, contagions have to be contained even at personal cost. If that's their personal cost, then that's one they're going to have to suffer from and just suck it
you're
up.
Such a good agent. Okay.
No, they're a broken one at this point.
All right. So you don't tell the truth, which means you'll be making a luck roll.
Ooh. All right. Any modifiers? Oh, they need to figure out if they believe I'm lying or delusional.
Right. Yeah. But you skip down to the next paragraph where it says if you don't tell them the truth, you just make a luck roll. If you fail, you get no sanity. If you succeed, you gain some sanity. But because of the special rules, you'll be adding 20% to your luck roll. So instead of having to roll under 50 or 50 or under, you'll be having to roll 20 or under.
Finally!
Excellent. Okay. All right. Yeah. So you will gain 2d4 sanity.
All right. Let's see what that looks like.
If you had gotten a critical success, you would have cured one of your disorders. So unfortunately, you still have all your disorders.
That's fine. We could be a broken little shell of a person as long as it means the rest of the country doesn't fall to eldritch beings. It's fine. Sacrifices have to be made. It's fine. The faces will stop screaming in the book.
Eventually,
you know the way of the yellow sign?
Yeah. Ask your therapist. Have you seen?
Did you show the therapist the sign? Yeah, the symbol.
They have tried to keep it in a locked safe that they change the combination to monthly. So I think they're trying not to, but if that urge does come upon them...
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. So let's move on to Greeby then. What did you choose for your damaged veteran?
Well, can I withhold that one until we walk through the other 3?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Because I have 2 options depending on how the other 3 play out.
Okay. Did you want to do your first personal pursuit first, or did you also want to wait and see?
Yeah, no, it's fine. And by other 3, I mean the other. Can we walk through the 3 home pursuits first, and then I'll.
Yeah. After we do your first home pursuit, we're going to do everybody loses a bond, and we'll talk about that, and then that's going to be especially hard for you, with your permission. Given before we started the game. So what were you thinking of?
Okay, so we're going to lose a bond regardless of which veteran option we choose.
Correct. So
some people might be losing 2. And
right, these guys are losing 2.
I only have 2, so...
I was about to say, I only have 2 as well.
But you're getting another one. So you're losing 2, but you're gaining 1.
Okay.
Or they lose. All right. It's like it's been 20 years, so one of your bonds just naturally fucked off. But it's been 20 years, so you made a new bond. So it's just sort of like a reset of your personal goals and whatnot, as it would be.
Okay. All right. Well, what I have down for her first home pursuit, the first thing she would do after things ended in New York is, I think she would have Tony hook her up with like a chef that he knows in Chicago, and she would gonna go live in Chicago, and so she could mainly so she could be close to her sister and keep an eye on her sister, because she was a little wigged out after the last experience. And I think you and I had talked whenever we were developing the character early on that actually for Greeby, actually just sort of sitting and watching her sister live a happy life was like her therapy. Like it was like the thing that made everything else that she has to do worth it, right? Was that she had gotten her sister into a good place, and that her sister, so just sort of like, so I was going to do the personal motivate. I thought that probably fit under personal motivation. She would go, yeah, and she would just be.
Are you still staying out of her life and just watching?
Yeah, she still doesn't. I don't think because she still has the paranoia disorder. She hasn't lost that, so I don't think I still think she wouldn't feel comfortable reconnecting because she doesn't want to cause. She's still afraid that the KGB are still watching her, and she doesn't want them to, find her sister. So I think she still won't let herself, actually let Yelena know that she's still alive or anything like that. I think she's just sort of watching. But she's going to move to Chicago and sort of.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good. All right. So you get a sanity test for this one. So at plus 20%.
Okay.
If you succeed, you'll get 2 sanity. And it will reduce it reduces 1 bond other than a Delta Green bond, because you're letting other responsibilities lapse. So whatever bond is not Yelena, I forget what you have, that one's going to reduce a bit.
Is it? Do you hold down Shift and click on it?
Yeah, hold down Shift and click the button. Should give you a pop up to.
It didn't. I wonder if it's because I have my character sheet popped out. I think sometimes it.
Yes, it may not work with the pop out.
It doesn't like that. Yeah.
We did discover that before.
Okay, let me try that again. It seems to be defaulting to popping it out. Hang on.
That's odd.
Sorry. Oh, wait, there it is. Okay, it did pop up. Okay, so I'm adding 20% or I'm subtracting? Plus 20%. Okay.
Yep. Which raises your target so that you can have a better chance.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, wow. Missed it by 9. Okay, so with a failure, nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
So you still reduce the other bond, but nothing.
Okay, so so it makes sense to me that her other bond was her chef colleague, basically the people that she worked with at Vince and Linda's restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense that bond would go down because she's not working there anymore. She moved, she's in Chicago now. So.
Okay.
So I knocked that down to by 1, you said? So that becomes a 13. Okay. Okay.
All right, then. So for Agent Gourmet, you have your trip out to Sweden. Think life's going pretty good. A few years pass. It's 1999.
Mm-hmm.
July. You're home. It's mid-morning, maybe on a Sunday. You're not actually into work. Who are you working for now? Have you left the Marshals yet, or is this still?
I think he's probably still with the Marshals. Now, we haven't done anything for Delta Green since the McAllister.
Maybe not.
Okay.
Do you wish? to have done?
I
It's been
think
4 years.
I think he probably has done something here or there. That maybe the marshals are starting to question his attendance.
Hmm. Right.
And plus, he also, took that personal leave. So at the moment, yeah, he's probably still working with the marshals. But maybe he's gotten some offers from companies for private security. He's entertaining offers. So
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
but you
So
can't beat that
you're
pension. So
in a bit of a transition period. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, you are, it's a Sunday morning, like 9 a.m. What are you doing in your little apartment there?
he's probably just got done from his run. He's habitually up early, exercising, jogging. So he's probably gotten back. Probably he's not the type to sit and watch TV. So
Okay.
he's probably reading and maybe just listening to some music. So
All right. You're sort of near the front door when you hear the sound of booted feet running down the hallway, and they stop just outside your door. You hear the distinctive sound of a shotgun racking. And then the boots run off again, like continuing on.
Mhm.
What do you do?
Dive to the floor. He has his Glock probably always near him, or he has a couple in the place. So he's probably armed. And you said the sound of the boots ran away from the door.
Yeah, so like they came, from the right as if you were facing the door, paused for a sec, and then kept on going to the left.
He's going to scramble to get on the other side of the couch because he knows the door is probably going to explode.
Okay. After a few moments, the door does not explode.
Okay.
Now what?
Just sitting there listening.
Okay. How long will you sit there and listen?
Probably 5-10 minutes.
All right, 5-10 minutes pass, and eventually you'll hear like a neighbor coming out of an apartment and walking down the hallway, go past. Just the normal sounds of life in the apartment that you've gotten used to.
All right. He will get up, creep to the door, and just peer through the peephole.
Yeah, you don't see anything on the other side. You can see your neighbor's door across the way. You can see they haven't picked up their Sunday paper yet again.
Okay.
If you want to snag it.
Because nah. It's one of those things. Like sometimes you can kind of get a little bit of an angle if you tilt to one side.
Yeah.
He's
can't quite see the floor, but you can
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
see down the hallway. Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to do that whole like how much of an angle can I see without opening the door?
Yeah. If it was Greavich, you would have installed one of those that you can like rotate to get a better shot.
And there's no doorbell cams yet, so
Yeah.
He misses me.
he will probably wonder if he was just hearing something without opening the door, and we'll go back to the couch.
Okay. When's the next time you leave the apartment?
Oh boy. It's Sunday, so he's not a go watch football type. He's not a he's really become very like almost like a hermit, like unless he has to go to work. So he might not leave till Monday.
Okay. When you leave Monday, I guess presumably to go to work or do whatever, you open the door and you notice on the mat kind of leaned up against the door jamb almost. And like, kind of slightly open like this, kind of up on the wall is a wallet, a leather wallet. And then a few inches from that, like toward the other side of the door, is a spent shotgun casing, shotgun shell.
I'm amazed everything sat there that nobody grabbed any of this. As many people has probably gone by here.
Right. The wallet is dark enough that it was kind of tucked into the shadow of the door. And the light bulb over your in your particular section has kind of been on the fritz lately. Sometimes it's on, sometimes it's off. So maybe
coincidence that. So he'll take the wallet and the shell. And
When you pick up the shell,
Mhm.
you are surprised to notice that it is a paper shell. What's your firearms rating?
He's actually pretty good in that. Let's take a look. He has a 60.
Yeah, they haven't used paper for shotgun shells for like a decade.
Okay. Am I able to tell like the brand or whatever? I'm not a gun person, so I don't know.
Yeah, you would be. I think on the brass rim, there's probably some sort of brand marking. It's not one that you recognize.
Okay.
And if you force me to make something up, I will.
No, it's not that.
But
big
yeah,
a deal.
you can get a brand off of it, and the size. It's a 12 gauge.
Okay. He'll put that inside. I'll just go put it on the table for later,
Mhm.
and then we'll go to work.
Okay, what are you gonna do with the wallet? Just put it with the shell?
Oh yeah. Everything's just gonna just go sit on the table until he
All right,
comes
yeah.
back.
So you go off. You have a day at work. You maybe get a few emails from prospective people. You definitely will get some letters in the mail at home from prospective works. But people are starting to warm up to this whole email thing and use it for business. You definitely get a few chain letters.
If you don't forward this to 7 people, your grandmother's gonna
exactly
die.
some inappropriate jokes from that one guy in the department who hasn't figured it out yet. But don't worry, folks, he will. All right, yeah. So when you get back home, the wallet is still sitting there, as is the shell.
Okay.
What do you do with them, if anything?
He's already put his hands all over the wallet at this point, so it's he'll open it up, see what's in the wallet.
Okay. You start pulling stuff out of the wallet. There's some cash. There's no cards of any kind, no credit cards, no debit cards, no store credit cards or whatever you'd get. There is a bus transfer card, and there's an ID. The ID is for a Marine Corps sergeant, let's say, ID of Ronald Burback.
Okay.
The bus transfer looks brand new, but you see that the date stamped on it is 1955 for the Queens Green Line bus. And that sort of prompts you to take a look at the bills, and you'll notice that there's none that are any later than 1950.
Okay, and if I look at the ID, does that look like it's from the 50s?
Yeah, it's got an issue date of 1953.
Okay. He will go to his laptop because now he can search the internet, and we'll look up this Ronald Burback.
Okay, let me go to the researching Ronald Burback page. Meanwhile, you make a I guess computers check, or whatever you can come up with. You can come up with a better idea.
Let's see. I've only got 10% in computer science, but this sounds more like, I don't know if search would count.
That's more for like looking around in a room for something. Okay. Computer science to find it on the internet. What about criminology? Maybe you have some,
you have a 50 in criminology.
So maybe you can you've got some access to criminal databases and that sort of thing, so you can do a criminology check.
Just straight check.
Do you have a 50, you said, in criminology?
I have a 50, yeah.
Oh, so no need to roll on that. It says here, if you have a 50 or higher, you will find a couple of files of note. It's for 2 different people, right? Okay, so you'll only find one file of note for Ronald. Ronald James Burback, arrested the evening of June 1st, 1953 at the American Museum of Natural History for breaking and entering. Burback admitted nothing. He was locked up until he was ordered released the following week by Francis William Holbrook Adams, the New York police commissioner. The only reason listed was decorated veteran. All charges were dropped. There is a second file that describes an event on 9 September 1955, September 9th, 1955, the murder of R. Burback and E. Carter at an unnamed hotel. There's a single typewritten page, and it's thin on details. There's a black and white crime scene photo paperclip to it that shows two men laid out in heavy military jackets with the skin of their faces carefully removed, revealing blood and muscles, next to a pile of old gas masks and shotguns. Make me a sanity check for violence.
Okay. They sound like they were up to no good. So, failure.
Okay, take one sanity from violence, and you didn't go insane, so you can mark I didn't go insane from failing a violence check.
Okay.
And there's a person of interest listed as Virgil U. Griffith in White Plains, New York.
Okay. He's probably not going to print all this. He's just handwriting it all down. And he'll kind of research that shotgun shell. Maybe,
okay. Yeah, so you can track down the manufacturer for it. They've been out of business since 1973.
Okay. So it sounds like somebody ran up to the door, ejected a shell, or ejected the casing or whatever, and left. So that's
yeah, and looking at, like, when you first picked it up, it smelled like recently fired.
Okay.
Now it's been a day, so it doesn't quite smell as good, but
yeah. He'll take that information down. I don't know if he ever had phone numbers for Greeby or Gaucher. I don't know if we did that kind of thing.
Yeah, what do you think, guys? Did you exchange numbers before you slipped away, or perhaps in the intervening time?
I feel like Gaucher would, but only in the sense of only contact this number if this pops up again, or something very similar pops up again. Yeah. Keep their professionalism.
Yeah. That's what I would think. Like, don't call me unless you absolutely forget I exist.
Or safety.
Yeah, exactly.
What about Greedy?
I think that yes, but only because they came back and they sat together there on the roof, and then sort of parted ways probably there. Then I think it would have made sense if they were exchanging numbers. She would have done the same thing. Yeah.
Staying in contact. Here's a way you can contact me. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, do you contact them with this weirdness?
He hesitates and is thinking, I don't know if I want to reach out just yet. What he wants to do is maybe go to his, I guess he's had maybe different handlers over the years.
Yeah. It's been 4 years. So actually, yeah, probably maybe 2 more after Agent Marcus, depending on what city you're operating in.
Okay.
You've been around the East Coast, so you've been doing some stuff in Boston and New York, up in Vermont and Maine. Yeah. So you've had a couple different people depending on where you had to go.
He would probably contact his current handler.
Okay.
With probably just like a message like, hey, I'm in town. Could we meet for coffee?
Okay. And you'll get back the standard response of, I don't drink coffee, I want tea, which lets you know that everything's good. And
okay, that's what I figured. Is they probably have like a code.
Yeah, have like a little code thing that you trade off.
Okay.
So she'll meet you there.
Okay.
What's up, Gourmet? Obviously, you don't want coffee, but I'll get you some coffee.
He's gonna slide over the wallet. Like someone left this at my door.
Okay. Do you think it's a message? She'll pick it up and start looking.
Yeah.
Flipping through it.
If you'll notice, the military ID in there is from the 1950s. The bills are from the 1950s. And then he'll go through the whole research he did on Burback.
Right. Oh, okay. Interesting.
I don't know who came to my door and left it, but they came up, they ejected the casing and left the wallet. But I never saw them.
Okay. What do you want me to do about it?
can we research to see if there's any kind of activity with this guy aside from public?
Sure,
record?
I can check the Delta Green records, see if anything shows up. Let me get back to you tomorrow.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, same time, same bat channel.
Yep.
All right. So she goes off. You catch back up with her tomorrow, and she just kind of shows up with a grim look on her face and a folded sheet of paper that she slides to you, like with your napkin and your coffee cup.
Here's my counter offer. So,
it says Burback Ronald James, Corporal U.S. Marines, 1924 to 1955. So we'll retcon that sergeant I threw on him earlier. Granted clearance 1951. Served in Operation Grand Stair 1951. Operation Teetotal 1953. Operation Winter 1954. Operation Bristol 1955. KIA 9 September 1955, New York City. And of course, you recognize all these as Delta Green operations, like Marine operations. And then the next it says Carter, Eric Christos, who was the other person found dead with him. First Lieutenant, U.S. Army, 1924 to 1955. Granted clearance in 1945. Served in Operation Summer Breeze, 1945. Lunacy, 1945. Majestic, 1947. Luna, 1952. Bristol, 1955. KIA 9 September 1955 in New York City. And then a third name, Griffith Virgil Ulysses, Captain U.S. Army, 1921 to 1955 ? Granted clearance in 1943, served in Operation Bargain in 1944, Lunacy 1945, Southern Hospitality 1948, Blackout 1952, and Bristol 1955. Missing in action 15 September 1955, last seen New York City. And she's like, this is all I was able to find.
No, that's excellent. So he went missing exactly 2 weeks after the other two, 14 days to the date that the other two were killed in action.
Right, yeah. Burback,
In New
the
York.
guy whose wallet you found, and Carter were killed on the same day in 1955, September 9th. This other person, Virgil Griffith, who came up as... Why did that name come up? Maybe it was just related with them? I could have sworn we said something about it before. So you're guessing she included it because he was either a handler for them or also involved in working with them. Just looking back, it just doesn't. He doesn't show up in the other description.
The last operation that those two are KIA, that was in New York City, I take it.
It just says Operation Bristol 1955. Doesn't say
Bristol.
where.
Okay, all right. So,
and if you ask, she'll probably be like, "You don't need to know."
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So he's going to keep that information in Bristol, because possibly there was a previous operation at the McAllister building or related to it. So he's just kind of tucking that away. He really doubts that either of these gentlemen are still running around because they'd be very elderly in 2015. And he highly doubts one of their ghosts came running up to the door.
Right. Yeah. The only one who could possibly still be doing it is the Griffith, who is the one who went MIA.
Yeah.
In 55. Yeah. But
okay. Yeah, he's gonna just kind of collect all that, thank them.
He'd be 70 something now. So.
And hold on to the wallet and hold on to the shell.
Okay.
And he's considering reaching out to the other two, but I'm going to let the handler move on to the other players. So.
Okay. All right. But before we do that, given that, what would you think your second personal pursuit might be? And would it have changed from what you thought before? I wanted to do them a little bit at a time just to see what.
Sure. Do I need to pick my disorder first?
Yeah, you probably should go ahead and.
How do I tell how I got my disorder?
You picked up a disorder when you lost your sanity because of the hard experience, right?
Yes. Yeah. Is that I wasn't sure if that's.
So then there's like three sources that disorders can come from.
Violence, helplessness, and unnatural.
Yeah, and since you at this point are sort of immune to loss of sanity due to helplessness, something listed in one of the other two sections that, whatever
Okay.
makes you, whatever sings to you.
I was thinking about depression. So where do I record that on my sheet?
In the, what's the name of it? There's a little box.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's
labeled
disorders or something.
Motivations and mental disorders, box 12 in personal psychological data.
Sounds like I'm looking at a W2.
Yep.
Box 12.
So you can put it in there like.
Okay. Oh, I see it. there. Okay. Got it. Okay.
That's a good place to remember. There's no like drop down box or anything to pick, just to help you remember that it's there. Yeah. So then, what do you think your second personal?
Let me. I'm sorry, I have to go back to that page.
And if you don't have an idea right now, that's fine. We'll just.
I don't have one. Can I look it up and we'll go back?
Go ahead. Look it up. Be thinking about that, and we'll circle back.
Please.
Around.
Yeah.
All right. So Gaucher, thinking about that little paper symbol that you picked up and saved from the evidence pile. It's 2001, September 10th. And you're just sort of, it's been on your mind lately. It's been a few years. The paper's starting to get a little yellow and brittle, but you take it out every now and then and look at it and pack it back away, maybe in a little envelope or something to help keep it creased. But you like to make sure that it's there, that it's safe, that it's secret. And lately you've been thinking about that symbol a little bit more. You're walking down the street. What city are you in now?
They have taken on a temporary assignment that is actually based in Tampa, investigating a potential breach of the unnatural kind, or it could just be some really bad cholera.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you're walking down the street in Tampa, headed toward the location you need to investigate for the day. And between a shop that sells flip-flops and tourist T-shirts and pink flamingos, and a second shop that sells used records, you spot a bookstore. And when you look at it, when you first see it out the corner of your eye, you think for a second that you see this symbol, your lovely little symbol floating like over it in your vision. But then you think, oh no, it's just the glare of the sun on the window. Instead, it just says bookstore on the window. But in that sort of, it's like really all you can see is the uksto, and the rest is sort of like faded out. The paint is chipped away, and it looks like an obvious used bookstore, and it seems sort of familiar to you.
I was about to ask, do they recall a similar looking bookstore from New York?
I would hope so. It's only been 6 years, but maybe not.
Yeah.
But that was a very special bookstore that so I don't know if you're hoping that it is similar or that it's not, but it definitely seems similar to that one bookstore that you wandered into.
Gaucher is
drawn toward it.
Gaucher's at a moment in their life where it's like, if I just keep working, I'll find my answers and I'll feel complete. That's the American dream. So of course, they have to investigate the bookstore that is almost surely going to play a part in their demise.
All right. Well, you step into the bookstore. And much like the previous one that you moved into, that you went to visit, there's a little uh, checkout stand to the left as you walk in. There's some bookcases to the right with, more contemporary fiction and nonfiction. And then used books, and you can see like a sign and hanging up over everything for antiques and this, that, and the other. And you can see that it's a long, narrow bookstore that runs toward the back. And you see sitting on the counter. And there's no one behind the counter this time. No one to greet you. But sitting behind or just on the counter is a rectangular shape wrapped in brown paper with a little white paper note like tucked under a piece of string that ties it together. You can't quite see what's on the note from where you're at.
They'll slowly approach. The last time they remembered this, there was a very peculiar incident of a person that might not have been a person, but also not a book, but could be a book. So they're a little on edge in this place, but they will approach.
Okay, and you see on the little white tag, basically, you see it's a tag, not so much a note. It just says Talanoff.
Their hand instinctively goes toward their waist before they realize that they had left their gun back at their home. So they didn't have an arm at the moment.
Right, and yet your hand touches the cold iron of, I guess it's not iron. Is it a Glock? It's cold plastic then. Yeah. Or is it a 1911? What do you carry normally?
They carry it's just like a normal like Glock, like something small that they can port around, something that would be,
Gotcha.
if they needed it to be, something they could lose, and with a little bit of filing, it wouldn't be that standout.
Gotcha. Then your hand brushes against the familiar feel of your plastic grip of your Glock.
They look down because they remembered leaving it. They look down. Is it at their hip?
Yeah.
Thank God this is Florida. All right. They kind of ignore that for now. Put on like a pair of gloves and just slowly go to open the note like it's a bomb going off.
Yeah, it just it basically it's not so much a note as a receipt. So it's like a folded over receipt, marked, paid in full, with like a price, like $15, and then a title.
Anything.
The title of the presumably book that's in there is The Devil's Craftsman.
Is that the similar thing of when they're investigating a very certain architect?
Make an intelligence check.
It's like, hooray, I'm going to do the thing. Oh no, consequences.
Success, it looks like. Yes, you do remember Gourmet telling you among the books that he found at the library in New York about Asa Darabandi, there was one called The Devil's Craftsman.
Slowly and like almost like crouch behind the desk as they open it, like slowly opening the package.
Okay, yeah, you open up the package and it is a copy of The Devil's Craftsman by Cabot Monahan, I think. Hang on a second, I'm going to look real quick for the book in the...
Let me get the sticky notes ready.
It's not found. Okay. Let me look for Craftsman. Oh, wait, there it was. Page 71. I've lost my mouse pointer. There it is. Ah, yes, we did. Yeah, there is a an entry in the handouts about the Devil's Craftsman.
Ah.
Okay.
So, remembering this, and also twitching and feeling like the room is growing a little too small from memory, Gaucher is still like slowly opening the package to be like, is this either someone has set a trap for me or someone is watching that knows? Both of those are a concern.
Yeah. Okay. Are you going to take the book?
I'm going to flip it open and go through some of the pages, see if there's anything off before I leave this store with it. Because I'm not risking bringing a unnatural tinge thing if I could just get the info I need from it here and leave it.
Okay. You notice that it's been flagged with some Post-its on several pages, as though someone has been using it for research and just maybe either forgot to take the Post-its out when they sold the book, or maybe they intended you to see what the Post-its were flagging.
They'll read one first to kind of see what this person was on about. Were they just taking notes for a project or a project?
Okay, yeah. So you'll spot on one of the pages is a photo of Asa Darabandi standing in front of an Art Deco hotel. There's a large B emblazoned on each door of the hotel. You're assuming a hotel from the picture, just because it has that hotel sort of look, but a quasi-public building of some sort with a big B on the top. There's a caption under it. It's 1928. Darabandi lived for a time at New York City Hotel, which he helped restore in lieu of payment. Give me a... I forget what the skills are. Is there? It's not perception. Awareness? Alertness? Alertness, or don't you have like a journalistic...
I do. I have art journalism.
All right, so whichever gives you the better roll.
We'll go with art journalism for 60 and see what happens.
Success. Oh, okay.
The dice are about to stab me in the back.
All right, I'm going to add something to the... You notice a couple of things that I'm going to add to the entry right now.
Notes, activate.
One is that in the reflection, so you look at like the how sometimes when you're taking a picture of a piece of glass, the reflection will be somewhat in focus. You can tell that there is the street opposite of the hotel. The reflection shows a monument in a park that looks very familiar to you. And after a second, you recognize that this is the Chester Allen Arthur Monument in Madison Square Park. The park that's a few blocks away from the McAllister Building that you guys met Marcus at. You'd been to it many times before. But you also notice, like, behind the reflection, like inside the building, crossing the lobby, is a sort of blurry image of a man that really looks a lot like Agent Grimshaw.
I think that moment...
Yeah, sorry.
The moment they see that, they just turn the page immediately because they're both learning and have learned if they focus too much on these things without intention, they're just actually going to crack like an egg. So they're going to focus on the Post-it notes and just see what this person was on about. what were they looking for?
It looks like each of the post-it notes is on a page where there's either a photo or a description of one of the buildings that Darabandi was working on or built across the country. So maybe someone was planning a road trip, or they were doing a report on Darabandi. All of the pages that talk about the buildings that he was working on are flagged with the post-it notes.
They'll take the book and also in their journal before they leave, note the location of this bookstore appearing. Because at this point, with Garibaldi's involvement with the McAllister building and everything in it, and now the person that may or may not be Grimshaw, potentially, maybe, there's enough evidence there to point towards them, if not being an active, involving force in this, at least being a part of what's holding it together. Maybe someday Gaucher will solve something with it, or they at least leave the notes for someone else to. When they get a chance, they're taking a note, leaving the bookstore, sending everything into their handler.
All right, so taking notes, but leaving the book.
Yes.
And then contacting your handler with the information. What exactly do you tell them?
Potential lead on the cholera outbreak, not as serious, but potential other cause. Meet here for analysis.
Okay, so they'll meet you for analysis at whatever time that you suggest or that you've previously set up.
It's probably going to be like 2 or 3 o'clock because it's going to be hot as hell in Tampa, and they need a spot in the day where people are going to try and go inside. So when I have to go outside, there's not as many witnesses around.
Gotcha. What kind of spot? Like a local bar or a park, or what are you interested in?
They'll pick like a spot along like some like shitty pier or whatever with a bench, like a spot that at like 2 or 3 o'clock you either have to be a fishing addict or just broke to be hanging around.
Perfect. Yeah, not too many people there. A few fishers.
There's a couple bridges where you can do that.
Yeah, a couple of homeless people just sort of hanging out.
Howard Franklin Bridge.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What's the bridge? What, Franklin?
It's the Howard Frankland Bridge.
Okay, you hit the Howard Frankland Bridge.
Yes. And they'll just sit on a bench.
Yeah.
And wait.
Okay. What you got for me, Ghosh?
Without looking, they slide them like an envelope with all their notes. Unrelated to current events, but there might be an all points bulletin needed for an individual in here and his involvement in both past and potential current disturbances.
Okay, how far past are we talking?
And to confirm, this is the Delta Green handler, right? Just to confirm, because I know I said that talking about cholera. Okay, thank goodness.
Yeah. This is your current contact for this region. This would be, let's see, it's 2001. Yeah, no, yeah, you're good. Yeah, so they're still using cells at this point. So you're outside of G-Cell, but you're on loan. So this is Agent Cerulean.
I believe these incidents span back at least until the 1920s. And they involve the aesthetic incident in New York.
Interesting. So some sort of time incursion?
Time incursion, potentially interdimensional space-time, if I were to try and put something.
All right, I'll kick this up to the proper cell.
Also, put a warning out for all cells in the area if there are any unregistered or slightly run-down pre-owned bookstores to alert you immediately. They are potential points of contamination.
Is that what the bookstore detailed in the notes? She's flipping through.
One and the same.
Okay. All right. I will pass this on. Good work. Any news on what brought you here?
It seems some idiots saw on the internet that drinking pasteurized milk was a, quote, flaw of manliness and decided to drink unpasteurized milk.
Good. So mundane causes. No
As
superbugs.
mundane as idiocity here can be.
Excellent. All right. Well, finish up and go ahead and submit your report when you're done. But it looks like we can breathe easy on this outbreak. Thank you for looking into it.
Here's to hoping all of them are as easy, even though
Yeah.
we know they aren't.
All right. I got to get somewhere with air conditioning. I will see you hopefully never.
Who are you again?
Yeah. Good one. Yeah.
And they'll sit a while longer after they leave. And then finally, when it's like dusk and they've like been outside as much as they can stand, then they'll go and continue their work elsewhere where they're needed.
All right. So given that little vignette, what would you like your second personal pursuit to be?
Well, I know y'all are thinking it. Say it with me, folks. Go to therapy.
Go to therapy. Even more therapy.
Because one session does not fix a person.
All right. Still with the same therapist?
Same therapist, same story, which is during work as a consultant at the McAllister building of feeling crammed in for days on end, and now that feeling just never leaving them no matter what they do. Not because of anything unnatural, no, it's just so much clutter and being compressed that long and forcing yourself to with so much stress of the job, and now I'm insane.
Yeah. Very good. Would this possibly be someone you would want to take on as a bond later? Think about that. Therapist is a good bond. Gourmet can tell you.
Probably they would, because I think at this point they've been going for a couple years now, and it's that moment of I'm not telling you everything, but I've gotten to know you as a person and as my therapist, so you're kind of cool.
All right, yeah, all right. Keep that in mind then. So for now, go ahead and make your sanity check. Remember, plus 20. It's a luck check, not sanity.
Yeah, just straight luck.
Yeah, it's basically your therapist making a luck check, not you. But
so that's a no.
Okay.
We talked too much about the unpasteurized milk incident to make any progress.
Right. Yep. But you don't backslide, and you didn't get a critical, so you don't lose your disorder, unfortunately. But hey, it's worth a try, right?
It's always worth a try.
Okay. So moving. Oh, actually, let's back up just a sec. Tom, did you think of a second personal pursuit? Just so we don't forget it.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about probably personal motivation.
Mm-hmm. What do you got? You taking on a new hobby? Seeing a new girl?
Yeah, I think it's more a new hobby. He's interested in learning about past life theory, time travel, a lot of just very theoretical research things. He's never been an overly scientific person. He's always kind of grounded in the here and now, but is now convinced that the universe is calling out to him somehow.
And with the dawn of the internet, I mean, you've got so many resources for fringe science.
Yeah. So he's just kind of diving into that. He does not share that with anyone because he doesn't want anyone judging him. But he's kind of on his own little kind of personal crusade. Like, why am I still here? I feel like I've cheated death twice now. Probably another Delta Green, mission or something. He barely escaped. So he's, yeah.
Do you want to do personal motivation, or would you like to improve skills?
Well,
since you're kind of studying, you can improve 2 skills.
What I was thinking is, I guess that's probably more improving skills. So maybe is that like he can improve occult and maybe a form of science. If that's okay.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. Let me just go back to what we were doing there. so I can see what your bonus is, or if you have to roll. What is this? Take 9, doing thing, meditating. Attempt a test of the stat or of the skill. If you fail, then you'll add some to it, and you'll get a plus 20 on the roll. Oh wait, no, minus 20 because you're trying to fail.
Right.
Yeah.
So say like I'm rolling a cult at a minus 20.
Yep.
Because I want to increase that one eventually. So minus 20. Okay. So I failed it.
And you failed. Okay, so you will add 66 percentage points to that.
66.
Yep. Normally
it's
3d6, but we're doubling it because of.
60. I thought you meant adding like 60, literally 66.
Yeah. No. Roll 66 and add that.
That's
to
why I'm
the
like, that doesn't sound right.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. Let me get the.
Oh wait, hang on a sec. Nope, hang on a sec. There's a specific entry for improving a skill. So successfully improving a skill adds plus 20% to the skill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you just get 20%, not the double of 66.
All right, so he's going to go up to.
That one doesn't double like other things do.
All right, so he goes from 44 up to 64 on occult. Okay. And then the science, he has nothing in. So.
Okay, then a 0 skill just gives you a 40.
A 40? Okay.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
So you've spent a few years poking about and learning some stuff.
Okay. All right.
Excellent. All right. Slipping on over to Agent Greavy. It is now 2007.
2007?
2007.
That's how many years? So from 1995, that's I can't do math.
Yeah, I'm trying to do it too.
18.
So it's 12.
12 years. Okay, we're jumping 12 years. Okay.
Yeah. Where are you now? Are you still in Chicago?
Well, I mean, I'll just give you. These are the 3 home pursuits I had and how they fell out over time. So I was the first one was to go to Chicago and just initially to kind of chillax and keep an eye on her sister and feel better. and then I thought while she was out in Chicago, she would decide to go to culinary school for 4 years, and then that would put her right around the right time frame to join. The third thing I was going to have her do was fulfill responsibilities, I guess, was to join Tony in his as a part of his crew for his cook's tour and no reservation shows, and travel around the world with Tony, and yeah.
Okay, interesting.
But I don't know what you have planned, so I don't know if that works out.
Actually, I think that's kind of nice. So let's say that you were on the tour with Tony doing the thing. Does that fall around the right time for 2007? Was that
2007? Yes, right. He started No Reservations in 2005. So yeah, so she could have spent several years in Chicago, and going to culinary school and stuff, and then gone off to I figured Tony would call her up whenever he was getting ready and see if she wanted to join them, and so she would.
Yeah, things have been going well. Your sister Elena is living in Chicago. Things are going well for her. She still hasn't run across you stalking her. You still have the private eye that keeps an eye on her, especially now that you have slipped off to do things with Tony. So we'll backtrack in a bit and do the personal motivation things that led up to this. But you are off, and I don't know what country are you in?
Oh, I don't know. Let's say we're in Basque.
All right, so you're off
in the north of Spain.
It is the middle of the night because you're trying to get a hold of your private eye and contact him to check in. And you can't get through. What do you do, Miss Paranoid?
Right? Yeah, what does she do? So she can't get through to the PI. I would say, I think at this point she would. Her sister was going, which is funny because I didn't even know really whenever we wrote this in the beginning. Her sister was going to school in Chicago for psychology. So I did briefly consider like trying to have her be my therapist, but I was like, I think she'd recognize me. So, because she was like 11, she was like 11 years old whenever I got her, So, but yeah, I was like, well, I wonder if I could disguise myself well enough to like go and see her as my therapist, because that would be kind of amusing. But no. But I think her contact information is public, right? So
she's got a little
yeah,
practice, somewhere in Chicago doing a thing.
So I think if she can't get through to her PI, she would probably just try pinging her directly as if she were someone else looking for a psychiatrist, just to.
All right, yeah. So you call and you get a recorded message saying, "I'm sorry, the offices of Yelena Grigorievna are closed today due to a death in the staff."
So I think now Greeby is going to start. What would she do next? I think she would probably try to go on the interweb and try to find any new, like, Chicago news articles to see if there's anything in the breaking news.
Or if you have something else better for trying to hunt down breaking news.
She has pretty decent computer science. She's got 54, so
that's good enough.
Okay.
You can pop over. It is 2007, so it's easier to find things now.
Right.
You hop over and you see a couple of the like local Chicago news stations, and you check for reported deaths, police reports and that stuff, and you see that there is a report of a string of deaths in a certain area of Chicago, like within like a few streets of each other. They of course haven't released any names until family members can be notified.
What streets?
This was just like last night. I don't know, but you have the streets.
But yeah, would she recognize any of the streets as being like streets that Yelena would frequent, because she would have spent so much time watching her?
It certainly intersects with places that she would go, that Yelena would go. It's not out of the realm of possibility that she would have been there. But it's a broad enough area that think of it like a Venn diagram of places that she might go.
All right, I think then she'll start looking for what would she do? I think she would call the police anonymously, report hearing sounds of like a fight or a struggle or something at Yelena's address.
Okay.
As a way to get the police to go to her apartment or her home. I'm trying to think what she would, what she could, like, what would be running through her, like. The other thing is she could potentially also just reach out and try to hire a different PI to go and check on her, but that might take a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants someone to check on her immediately. The problem is she does it anonymously. She's like sitting here like trying to figure out if she does it anonymously, then the cops won't be able to call her back and let her know.
Yep.
Shit. Fuck. She's like,
How close are you to just jumping on a plane and flying back?
I mean, pretty close. I don't want to abandon Tony and the crew, but yeah, I think she's gonna have to let them know that she's having like a family emergency and that she needs to.
All right.
She needs to catch the next flight back to Chicago.
Okay, I'm not entirely sure how long it takes to fly between Basque and Chicago, but I'm guessing at least 13 hours. But
Probably. Yeah, I'd say.
Including trying to actually get tickets and get going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably at least like two stops.
Right. Okay, so basically you'll be back in Chicago then. If it's morning in Chicago now, by the time you leave, it'll be late evening, early morning, like 2 in the morning kind of thing, at post midnight by the time the flight lands. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I assume Chicago has late flights coming in, don't they?
Probably. It's an international airport.
Yeah, so you can get into Chicago in the wee hours. What do?
I would go straight to her apartment or her house or whatever, wherever she's living. Probably an apartment. It's Chicago.
It's an apartment. Yeah, she's got an apartment not too far from Lake Michigan. It's reasonably nice. Sheltered enough streets back that's sheltered from most of the wind that comes off the lake, but not so far back that it gets like super muggy and get like a decent breeze. Yeah, so you get to the apartment. It's locked. Looking at the peephole, it doesn't look like there's any lights on inside.
How late is it? What time is it?
Say 3 o'clock in the morning by the time you get there.
Yeah, I think she would break in. I think that's what she would do.
All right. How carefully are you breaking in?
Oh, carefully. I mean, she's a fucking, trained KGB agent. She doesn't, like, she can slip her way in there, like, pretty quietly. She shouldn't have a problem,
Right.
She doesn't need to, like, bust down the door or anything.
What is Just wondering what would cover picking locks in this game.
Criminology? I don't know. Stealth?
Yeah, we'll go with stealth just because you're trying to do it quietly.
Okay, yeah, because I'm not seeing anything else that would.
It's not so much can you bypass the lock. It's can you do it quietly? Yeah.
Okay.
No, you apparently can't do it completely quietly. Maybe you rush things and you snap off a lock pick and you curse in the hallway. But luckily for you, it's pretty dead in the hall. Not so much going on. You do see like the neighbor next door's light kind of turns on and shines out from under their door, as though you got somebody's attention after you cursed. But you get the door open and you slip inside.
Okay.
The apartment is closed up. No, not closed up. Is dark. It's like there's nobody here or someone's gone to bed. But it has that sense of stillness, like there's nobody there.
All right. I'm sure she's got like a little flashlight on her, so she'll
Elena's cat like comes out and
scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, like something rubs up against your leg and
motherfucker.
And then headbutts you and walks over to its dish and then like looks at the dish and looks at you and looks at the dish and looks at you. The dish is empty.
Huh.
The water is down to maybe a quarter of an inch in the cat's bowl.
Not that I don't give a shit about the cat at all, but I care more about my sister right now. So I'm gonna continue to look around the apartment to see if.
Okay. Yep. You make a sweep of the apartment. Nobody's home.
No one's home.
Judging from the.
What's it look like? The state of it, yeah.
Oh, it looks fine. Yeah, it's neat, tidy. A few things left out, but it looks normal. There's dishes in the sink, but nothing like there's no meal on the table in the middle of being eaten. It looks like she would have left to go do whatever she was doing, of her own accord. But definitely looks like the cat hasn't been fed in. Well, I don't know. What do you know about cats? How long would it take for the cat to eat? It's been a while. The bowl's empty and the cat.
Right. Feed the cat. Give it water. What about her? Where is her mailbox? Like downstairs, maybe.
Yeah, probably. There's a mailbox in the lobby.
I'm guessing I don't see like her purse or her phone or anything. Like it's all gone.
Right.
As if she. Okay.
As if she'd left for work or a date, maybe, or who knows what. But something normal, it would seem.
It would seem.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check the fridge.
Okay. And then give me an awareness check.
Any food in there that should be bad, but it's still fresh?
There is a box of Chinese that's tucked back behind a bunch of other things, like it got forgotten. That is starting to get a little fuzzy, but everything else seems reasonably fresh.
Oh, that's good. Yay.
No 5-month-old food or anything like that.
No, but no food that's expired but still fresh. So.
Right. Yeah.
Like the creepy place in the. Okay. And then you were about to ask me about an awareness or.
Yeah, awareness check. Let's see. Or alert.
Sorry.
I guess it is.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
Nope. Yeah. So you don't really notice anything else in the apartment. Everything just seems normal. No. Weird food. No. Odd old books lying out or anything weird like that. Everything seems pretty much what you recognize from the photos that your PIs have been taking for you through the window with a long telephoto lens.
All right. I'm going to.
One time you slipped the cable guy $100 to take pictures while he was inside.
I'm going to lock up behind myself, try to slip out quietly. I do want to eye her mailbox on the way out.
Okay. It's not open.
Okay. I'm going to then go to her office where she works.
Okay. You break into the office without too much trouble. It's very light security. No, who wants to, break into a psychologist's office, really? What you looking for?
Well, they said that they had a death on the staff, so I feel like she's looking around for some evidence of who that might be. And even if she has to hack a computer and try to get into the email,
Yeah. So
she's
science?
trying, yeah. Unless she's lucky enough for there to be like a card out for everybody to sign.
Is there a card out for everyone to sign?
That's just a thing we do at my office, but
Mhm.
it's somebody's
Um,
sick or whatever. But yeah, I don't know.
So there is a condolences card out on the desk, and it is assigned to who would be Yelena's first of kin, next of kin.
Her adoptive parents, I guess. I'm assuming. Let's assuming that she got adopted out of the foster care system.
Okay. Oh, so not like a boyfriend or anything like that. Go straight to her.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, there's an envelope that's addressed to her adoptive parents with our condolences on the loss of your daughter. And it looks like it's waiting for some signatures.
Okay.
Do you continue going through the computer? The good news is you don't have to make a check to avoid sanity loss due to helplessness.
Yeah, I think she would. She's got the address for the foster family.
Yeah.
Or the adoptive parents, whatever.
Yeah,
All right.
It's addressed and stamped. It looks like it's just waiting for some final signatures.
All right, she's gonna scribble down the address, and then that's where she's gonna go next.
All right. So not bothering to check the computers for anything while you're there.
I don't think if she would, or
anything else
what
while you're there.
once she saw that, yeah, like if she would even. She would be in such shock. I guess she could hold out hope that they have more than one daughter. And maybe her coworkers are just being really nice because she lost her sister. She's like grasping at straws at this point. So yeah, maybe she would try to hack the computer just to see.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, computer science. Take a plus 20 because it's not a.
Oh, I didn't take a plus 20, but I don't think that would have.
That would help you because it'd make you 74 and you got a 73.
Oh, all right. So I would have got it.
Good. Yeah, so you get in pretty easily and like you look through various things. There's a like an order for flowers in the email and stuff in the like in the secretary's email. In Yelena's specific calendar, you'll see that 2 nights ago she had a date to attend a play. And other than that, everything seems pretty mundane, just like stuff with what do you call it? Appointments with clients and that sort of thing.
Does it say what the name of the play is?
Yes, it says A Song Before Travel.
Where does it say which theater it's at?
Yeah, it lists the theater. I don't know what it is, but
Okay, that's fine.
oh, why? Where'd you find that GIF?
Do I find? So what am I? I'm hacked into specifically Yelena's account,
The
or
secretary's computer, because it was right there on the desk.
okay,
But you
Who
can see
just
her
keeps-
calendar, and the secretary's
Okay.
emails.
So she had a date to attend a play. That's the only thing that's on her calendar.
The only thing recent, if you go
Recent.
back months, there's a few other dates listed, like dinner with Ralph and dinner at the folks.
All right. What about her secretary's email?
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly business email, dealing with clients and requests and things like that.
There's
and
nothing
plus the order for a funeral arrangement
for.
flowers for an upcoming funeral for. Let's say, it's probably flagged as Yelena's.
As Yelena's funeral?
Yes.
Are there details on the funeral service?
Yes. Coming up in like the next couple days.
Right.
Still want to go to the parents?
No, I think. I think seeing that, she is either going to go find somewhere to have an emotional breakdown, or she's going to compartmentalize it and go to the PI's office. Or even the PI's home. To beat the shit out of them for not doing their job. I don't know. Or both.
Where to first?
Yeah, I think she would compartmentalize it and go, go try to find the PI.
All right. So to his home or his office?
She'll try his, well, by the time she gets there, yeah, I don't know. It's, I think she'd try the office first, but.
Yeah, I mean, it's closed up. It's still, at this point, like probably 5 a.m. or something.
Yeah. But he might have information in there on Yelena. So she could try to identify when was the last time he had eyes on her. And
okay, yep. So you break into his office?
I think at this point she's trying to come up with things to do so she doesn't have to stop and think about what reality is.
Okay. So let's see. You get to his office. You get inside. It's a little bit harder than breaking into Yelena's office, but you manage. Nobody's really around to be too alert, so you're not too careful. You can find his notes on her case in specific. He's got his daily entry of timestamps of observations, records of calls with you, bookkeeping stuff, recording how long he spends so he can charge you. Everything seems normal up until the afternoon of what did I say, a couple nights ago she had the date for the play.
Mhm.
So he'll make a note in the afternoon. It's like she went home from work. Everything seems fine. Listening over the bugs indicate that she has a date for tonight, so I'm going to head back over and follow her. And that's the last entry. No, is that the last entry? No. Last entry, it would be like the next day. So date went well for her, but play was interrupted in the middle. Some sort of weird performance art. Everyone kind of got chased out, and she and boyfriend left. Went back to her place, spent the night. Everything's good. We'll be following her to work. So the last thing you get is the morning entry of the day after the play, when he was indicating he was going to check on her at work. Do you want some time to process and have me move on to the other guys and see what they're doing for their
Sure.
stuff? All right. So let's head over to Gourmet. Let's see what. First off, we're at like 2007 or so. Who is the bond that you're going to end up losing over the 20 years? Have you decided?
Well, I originally lost the therapist.
Right, but that was because of your choice of damaged veteran. So you're losing one just because of the 20-year period.
Right. Okay. Probably his ex-wife.
Oh, and what happened? Did
she got remarried. She's tried to remain friends with him. He's just still kind of aloof. Doesn't come over to see her and anything. So she's just apparently you don't even want to be friends with me anymore, and has just cut him out. So
obviously you need some alone time, and I don't have the energy for a long distance relationship with you. So
exactly, yeah.
She's
married, and has moved on. So yeah. Okay,
good. So what bond do you pick up to replace that?
I was thinking. He maybe has he wouldn't get a new girlfriend or anything like that. He's just not, probably like a professional bond. He had been looking into maybe doing private security, something that's a little more off the radar, where he can kind of make his own hours. So maybe it might be a peer, somebody who maybe got him into the into that field, or
a contact who's like
a contact.
Do this, and helps you get the business set up, get the right permits, get the right paperwork taken care of. A mentor of a sort. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what's his name or her name? Or
their name is. Let's quickly get out the name search thing. And I think they are going to be from the Middle East, and let's see, they are Egyptian. So, and her name is Mosi Tama.
Okay.
Mositoma.
All right. Nice little random Egyptian name generator. I assume it's accurate. I don't actually know any Egyptians, so
I know a couple actually. So that's somebody.
You get your business going on. Yeah, you get your business going on. You've got somebody you can talk to about the job, about security, about bodyguarding and picking up odd jobs, and what it's like to work for yourself. She encourages you to set up, a 401k for yourself and make sure you got the right insurance.
He probably stayed long enough with the Marshals so he could get a pension. and then left. So he's 50 right now. So this is sort of his retirement. So
Yeah. Gotcha. Perfect. All right. So what do you think your final personal pursuit would be?
Probably building this business, gaining new contacts. He started off just doing the work himself. Maybe he's now looking to kind of get out of the actually having to do the bodyguard work, as you start to hire other people in to do it. He's kind of in that phase where he's getting ready to, okay, now I'm going to hire somebody else to do it while I sit back and don't get broken bones anymore. So.
Okay. So trying to think what would be the best.
Is a personal motivation, or
could just be personal motivation, maybe special training? Looking at the examples, no, not really, because that's all like
it's more his
weird skills.
Yeah, it's more his motivations, I think.
Yeah, so probably just personal motivation, something to focus on that could reduce your sanity or increase your sanity. The other option would be like fulfilling responsibilities, like the mechanics in that better, but.
Yeah, no, he doesn't feel responsible to anybody but himself. So he's still learning more about the occult and things like that. But he's kind of just like, I need to go back to focusing on me.
Okay. All right then. So make a sanity check at plus 20. Success. So you get 2 sanity.
Okay, cool.
But you do reduce 1 bond by 1.
Okay. Well, see,
because you're letting other responsibilities lapse.
The only other thing he'd be reducing would be the plane crash survivors group.
And that sort of makes sense. It's been a long time. You're probably getting to the point where you just meet with them because they're people you know now, not so much that you need. Yeah.
So I'm reducing that by 1?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right, cool. That's been a good 20 or so years for you.
Yeah.
Gaucher.
So his new bond, it says it starts off at 7. Is that correct?
I don't know.
Okay, I can look it up.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's any guidance in the.
I can look it up if you want to go to Gaucher.
Yeah, we'll figure it out before next time. Just note that I know that the sheet on Roll20 tends to stick you out at 7, but I'm not sure that it's actually accurate.
Okay.
Especially considering everyone else had like 14s and stuff. So, all right, Gaucher. Which bond are you going to lose over your 20 years?
The only bond they have left is with Ekaterina, their best friend that they came to the country with as refugees.
So explain how you have grown apart.
I think as time went on and as Gaucher had to as they got older, slow down, but still keep up their commitments to the CDC and Delta Green, it's that slow creep of more and more and more time being eaten away. Daily chats turn to weekly meetups, turn to like monthly, oh, hey, it's been a while, to the odd text every few months, to just that slow retreat of 2 people that don't feel like the other wants them around anymore. Gotcha.
Yeah. Sad, but it happens, right? And you're down to like just sending a perfunctory Christmas card or something, a birthday card once a year. You're still, maybe friends, just not strong enough to be a bond per se. I get it.
It's moving to like 2 different paths where you still know each other and you're cool at parties, but it's like you're not really close.
Yep. Sounds good. So what bond ends up replacing that? What do you pick up along the way?
Oh, man. I keep forgetting to click this button to edit this. I apologize. I think along the way, as they get more into it, it's not a Delta Green asset, but I believe at the CDC, they kind of take on not an apprentice, but like a younger employee kind of under their wing, more so in the public relations side of, here's how we phrase this question. Here's how we know that question is a trap. Here's how we don't fall for bait from idiots on these brand new internet forums that try to tell us that we're like stealing blood from babies. Very much I did this when I was new. Let me save you some of these problems, even if I haven't ran to this exactly.
Lovely.
And that person, I believe their name would be Charity Thomas, a former reporter at the CDC.
Okay. Sounds good. And then once we figure out what that levels that's going to start at, we will figure that out. What will your final personal pursuit be?
Say it with me, not go to therapy. I think despite their best efforts to get over it, the McAllister building and Darabandi just sticks with them to a point where they may not live to see the end of it, but every effort they could put to it means someone else could. So I think after so much time, they're going to pull out their old notes, glance at the symbol one more time, a little bit off their monthly schedule of doing it, and they're going to stay on the case.
Okay, staying on the case. All right. Spending nights and weekends poring over old evidence and stuff. Let's see. This will reduce a bond by 1. And I will secretly roll for you.
Yes.
Oh.
I figured I'd give you some spicy fun.
Let's see.
Listen, I can't let Age of Greed be the only one going through the shit. I gotta also put Go Shit through it.
Which one's better, criminology or occult? Criminology is 50. Occult is 20.
To be fair, Q kind of set me up from the get-go, thinking that he was probably gonna.
Yeah, I need it. It's like baked into the system that like one of the players is going to lose a bond in this way. And so I was asking early on, it's like, oh, you've got a sister.
I kind of knew it was coming to be, yeah. Kind of figured, which is why I had like different options. Like, I need to wait and see how this is going to play out first before I can say what.
All right. Okay, you succeeded in your criminology roll. So you're going to gain 1d6 minus 3 sanity by like going over things over and over again and kind of like coming to terms with it all and getting used to it.
This is going to be fine. So that's not as fine. Because it's 1d6 minus 3, so that's a -2.
All right, minimum 0.
God.
I think. Wait.
Or wait.
No, yeah, it does. It can be
You
negative.
can obsess
okay.
over it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So you're obsessing over it.
We undid some progress.
So -2 sanity, and you've been obsessing over this crap for pretty much the whole well, it hadn't quite been 20 years yet. We're still like in 2007, so 12 years of just going over it and over it in your head and getting as much information from Delta Green as they'll give you, like putting in requests for stuff and checking up on that creepy ass bookstore that you've seen in 2 different cities and you're sure is the same store, has to be the same store. So you've been like looking to see if it shows up in other cities and trying to track it, and have become a little bit obsessed and lost some sanity. So maybe you should have done some therapy.
And listen, a 3-peat of therapy can only be a good thing, but this is Delta Green. We're not meant to make good decisions, just the least bad ones.
Right? Yes, exactly. All right, so back to Greeby.
Yeah.
What's your move?
Yeah, so I think then her third home pursuit is going to become getting to the bottom of her sister's death. And I don't know if that it's stay on the case. It's kind of not necessary. necessarily the Delta Green case, where maybe it is, but she doesn't know that when she starts it, or maybe,
I mean, it doesn't have to specifically be a Delta Green case. It's just that this is a case. There's a death, and you're going to look into it. So yeah, we'll expend a stay on the case for that.
So we did the role for personal motivation, right? But I don't think we actually did the roles and the stuff for the fulfill responsibilities when she went off with Tony's crew.
That's true. We got a little distracted. So why don't we do that real quick right now?
Okay, so
make a sanity test at plus 20. And if you succeed, then you will improve a bond. So this is would be your bond with that group, with Tony and the gang.
Okay. So I've got too many windows open. I'm sorry. So that's sanity plus 20. Oh, for fuck's sake. I haven't made a single roll tonight.
All right, so what was the result? 61?
Yeah.
Yep, failure. Okay, so failure.
All right, so that doesn't improve that bond.
Failure adds 1 to the bond. That's it.
Does this improve the bond? Okay, yeah, failure adds 1 to the bond. Okay.
So
reduce.
Not bad. Yeah. One of those times where it's not bad to fail, it's just not great.
Okay. All right, so that bond goes back up to 14. That's back where I started. Okay.
And if you'd fumbled, then your leaving abruptly would have, pissed everybody off, and you would have reduced the bond and lost some sanity. But you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's okay.
And then stay on the case.
All right. I roll a secret criminology roll for you. What is your criminology?
Reduces 1 bond by 1. Okay, so
I'm going to go with occult, just because that's the better.
I'm going to go ahead and reduce my chef colleague's bond back down by 1 again.
Yep, makes sense. Oh, you succeeded.
Finally, when you roll, why don't you just roll for me from now on, then?
All right, so you will uncover some pertinent clue. All right, so what is your next step so that I can give you this pertinent clue? When we left off, you were you went to the office. You found out about the.
Does the PI show up eventually?
How long do you wait?
I think at this point she just waits in his office and
normal opening hours.
Probably looks around to see if he has any alcohol in his office.
Yeah, there's a bottle of cheap whiskey.
And proceeds to sit there and drink and sob and rage and wait for this PI to show up.
Yeah, so eventually it's like a couple hours after his listed office hours on the door, and he hasn't showed up.
I think she'll try to call him again. I'm assuming he has a personal phone or something.
Yeah, I mean, if you call the normal phone, it rings here, but you do manage to find in the office a listing for his personal phone, which you call. And okay, yeah. So someone answers. This is Detective Greentree. Who is this?
I'm a client of detective or private PI, private investigator Smith.
Smith. Okay. I'm sorry. But I regret to inform you that P.I. Smith is dead. He was killed in what was apparently a mugging gone wrong a couple nights ago. So I'm afraid you'll have to take your business elsewhere. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. She hangs up. Supposedly a mugging gone wrong, huh? Well.
What's your next step?
I think that she would have sat there during the night, also poring over every bit of documentation that he had on her sister, trying to see if he missed anything that maybe she would feel triggered by based on her crazy experiences. Since she was sitting there for so many hours waiting on him anyway.
Probably the most salient weird thing is the play that she was in that got interrupted by some sort of performance art or flash mob, indicating.
Okay.
So
maybe Google
more.
that. Yeah, she'll use this computer to.
Yeah, and you'll find an article about a song before travel and how it was, it's sort of a brief description of it, how it was, the play kind of gives you like a, rough breakdown of what's going on. It's like a, sort of mundane life, slice of life kind of thing. And then suddenly in the middle of the play, a bunch of people run onto the stage wearing like long overcoats and gas masks, carrying, shotguns, and they chase everyone out, claiming that the play is going to, make them insane and everyone needs to leave. And like everyone runs out, and then the article finishes up with, "I just don't understand performance art these days."
Huh. Does it say who wrote the play?
I'm sure it lists who the director was.
Well, the director and the playwright are going to probably be different. I mean, maybe not, but it could be self-directed. But
it was a review article, so probably they would list the director and the author, and then like maybe the two leads and that kind of stuff in the brief description. It was written by Annika Whetstone.
haha, very funny. Let's not bring our real family into it. That's weird. That's just creepy, Quentin.
But she lives in Chicago.
Well, so do a lot of people.
Annika would think it was cool.
Would she? I don't know. Here, I'll give you a name if you can't. So let's say the director was Gabriel Iglesias. Okay, there we go. Okay. And the author was, I guess it doesn't matter if it's not significant. So we'll just say the author was Hannah, whatever, Golding. There you go. Okay. Golding. And the two leads, probably also not significant. So. Okay. I guess after a while, after he never shows up, she knows he's not coming back. She's gonna clean her fingerprints off of everything, and then she's gonna take her sister's file,
mm-hmm.
and then she's gonna leave and. I think she would go to the theater.
Okay.
Next.
What do you want to do at the theater?
I mean, at this point, she's running on next to no sleep, and she's severely hungover, and hasn't eaten.
Where's Joseph?
But she's a mess. But she would be, so you know. So yeah, she's gonna go, I think, over to the theater where the play happened.
All right.
And
What are you hoping to find there?
hopefully to find somebody who could maybe give her more information about the people who stormed the or about the play itself, but also the people who stormed in, and was that part of the play, or was that planned, or was that
Gotcha. All
like
right,
the
well,
article seems to indicate it was a part of the performance, but she's wondering, she's questioning that.
yeah, I mean, the description of the people that interrupted the party seem suspiciously similar to, weirdly dressed people with shotguns that you spotted on the night floors.
Oh,
In case you missed that. Greeby did not.
I did.
Yeah. Tom and Minty didn't miss that. Their eyes got wide.
Oh, I don't remember that at all. Okay, so they look like people we saw on the night floors?
Yeah, there was this one episode where you were like looking down a hallway, and then you saw people running past, and then some more people running past them with shotguns, and then there was bang, 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 and you never went to investigate to see if anybody got shot, but the people
They
that
were wearing gas masks?
gas masks, yeah, old like World War II gas masks, overcoats.
Oh, I don't remember that at all. Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, good. I'm glad I mentioned it because it did not
Thank
pass. It did not get past Greeby.
Okay. Yeah,
maybe
see.
why you were going there. Yeah.
No. But I mean, it did sound suspicious to me that they were saying, hey, this play's going to make you crazy. You should run away, considering that, the creepy play that was at the McAllister building, and that, like, weirdness around the fact that there was like that play and everything, and obviously those people were going crazy. So yeah, she wants to go.
All right. Well, when you get there, it's closed up because it's still morning time.
Yeah. Okay.
They haven't come in for.
Right. It's a theater. They won't show up till late.
But you can get in and you can like poke around and stuff. Do you want to do that?
Sure.
It looks like. All right, having been a theater nerd, you know the chaos of backstage.
Mm-hmm.
It seems more chaotic, like almost like someone tossed the place looking for something. Things are thrown everywhere, chairs and tables overturned. In the little office space, everything's all messed up and knocked around. And it's getting late, so let's not do any more rolls. You dig around for a bit because you're suspicious. You find a copy of the play, like it slipped under a bookcase or something, where it probably like hit the floor and slid under. You were that thorough. You were moving everything. And it looks a little weird. But you do notice on there's like a watermark that you can see in the light. If you like hold it up to the sun, and the watermark is a very familiar symbol.
Okay. We can, if you want, fast forward. I think she would ultimately go to the funeral.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for personal reasons, but also I think she wants to as twisted as this might sound, she wants to confirm that there's a body, and it's not that she just went missing, but that there's actually
Okay. Yep.
body.
So you attend the funeral. Yelena's definitely dead. There's a wake. You can go in and view the body. No one really questions why you're there. They just probably assume you're a client or something.
Mm-hmm.
There's a book where you can sign in and all the usual.
Yeah, don't do that.
It's all very nice. The funeral's very nice. Her parents are there. They seem very distraught. Ralph, the boyfriend, is there. He seems very distraught.
Okay.
Do you do any sort of digging through Delta Green channels? Do you try to get any police reports and find out more about what was going on? Or are you just going to let this?
Oh no, she's gonna. If she's staying on the case, she's staying on the case.
Right.
She will. I think she's gonna have to find somewhere to actually stay.
All right. Well, let's say you figure all that sort of stuff out. And you do whatever it takes to get the information that you need. You find out that Yelena was killed in an alley, not too far from her office. There were another 200 different deaths in the area over the days surrounding that, all made to look like an accident or a mugging or something gone wrong.
200, you said?
Yeah.
All in the same area?
All in the same area. All of them were people who visited, who saw the play that night. In addition to her death in the alley, down toward the end of the alley, your PI friend was also killed. And it was marked down as maybe just a good Samaritan who came upon the mugging and was taken out as well. Obviously, that he was following her.
Right.
When they were taken down. You get a note from your Delta Green contact that you were passing the information to that tells you to drop it. Stop investigating this.
What?
You have been officially ordered to stop investigating by Delta Green.
Are there any similarities in how they were killed?
Yeah, like I said, they were all made to look like either an accident or a mugging or, normal murders.
So no reports of weird symbols carved into their bodies or anything like that?
No. It does seem like the sort of tradecraft that Delta Green would try to pull off, which could be why they're telling you to back off.
Oh, like Delta Green killed them?
That is sort of the impression you're left with, yeah. When you ask Delta Green if they have any knowledge of what was going on, they get back to you with drop it. But that's sort of like mass extinction, if you will, of is the sort of thing that you might have taken part in over the years, and some other case.
Well, I mean, she hasn't done any Delta Green stuff since McAllister. She walked away.
Okay. All right, then it's the sort of thing you would suspect Delta Green of doing.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all the information you're going to get. Everything else seems to be cover up. Doesn't mean you have to drop it, just that you're not really getting more info.
Yeah. So did you roll? You rolled for me on that.
Yes, I rolled the
okay.
The secret cult because it was better. But
so then I just need to select the damaged veteran option.
Oh, did we not do that yet?
No, I asked to be able to wait and see what was going to happen before I chose.
Yeah,
well,
push it too far. Maybe you got imprisoned.
Right. I lose Yelena. That's the bond that I lose.
Yep. And then you need to pick a new bond.
And then so I think I'm gonna go with the hard experience as well. Well, see, I don't want to lose.
Bond.
Right? I don't know if I. But then I get a new one.
Yep. That just means you will only have a single bond, which honestly isn't that terrible under a normal Delta Green campaign where you'd be actually using your bonds to basically you sacrifice your bonds to not lose sanity in cases. You can. I don't really see us doing that as much the way this is going to play out. There will be chances for you to take some downtime and go do home vignettes, but not as often as you would during a normal campaign. So you can probably get by with a single bond. Or, things that you were not meant to know, that man was not meant to know. Did you have?
I already got that one.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You already got that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I started with that.
Extreme violence.
I did think about that was the other one I was considering was the extreme violence. If I took it like coming fresh off of what they did at McAllister, I think that fits because she.
Absolutely. You
but
were the
then
one that killed them all.
Yeah. And she's the one that actually physically killed the one guy that was, downstairs. So I could do that, but am I not already adapted to violence because I?
No, you were adapted to helplessness.
Okay, right, I have one more tick on the violence one I haven't done yet. Okay. So yeah, I was trying to decide between the hard experience and extreme violence, but the trick with the hard experience is that I would then lose both of my bonds, but then I gain another one back. But I don't know what that one would be, unless we did it like. I mean, my chef colleagues, if that's specifically my like the people that I worked at Vince and Linda, and then now I've got a new bunch of friends like with Tony and his other rest of his crew, but I don't know what other bonds she would pick up.
Where do you see yourself ending up? Are you going to be in Chicago? Are you moving back to New York?
Oh, she's not going to drop it. Honestly, I think at that point she would probably call Greeby and Gaucher and say, I need your help. Because she doesn't have anyone else.
Would you like to pick like Gourmet and Greeb and Gaucher as your bond? You
both of them
allowed...
or just
yeah, I would let you do both of them if you're leaning on both of them, or if there's one in particular that you resonate with.
I think probably Gourmet. Yeah, I think she probably. Yeah, Gourmet. All right, so I'm gonna go with. Then that means I'm gonna go with the hard experience. And lean into the fact that she lost her sister more than like what happened at McAllister, because honestly, she was a trained KGB agent. That was nothing. And compared to Chernobyl, it was fucking nothing. So it's like, okay, so I'll remove my chef buddies because I'm not going to go back to them, and I will instead add Gourmet, hoping that he actually does answer his phone.
Right.
And her call for help. And what else do I need to do? Reduce my sanity by 5. Oh my god, it's already so low. Jesus Christ.
It pops up potential spam. So.
Yeah,
and I got no sanity back from any of this, right? I mean,
right. None of your stuff gave you any sanity back.
And I think, how does the breaking point thing work? Because
when you hit your breaking point, you get a disorder.
My breaking point was 45. I think I might have actually hit it during the before, but it's it's 27 now, so it's definitely lower. So we need to give me another disorder.
Right, and you need to reset your breaking point.
To what?
It is
Back up to the
sanity
max.
minus power. Hang on, let me.
Oh,
Let
does it
me
go
look.
back up to the max?
Nope,
That's what I was wondering. Okay, no.
Oh.
it goes lower.
uh,
And then when you hit it again, it goes lower, and then when you hit it again, it goes lower. But the problem is that eventually it can only go so low. I have to figure out.
okay, while you're looking at that, and then I add 10 to your agent's occult. Okay. 10 to my occult. And then 10 to any 5 skills other than unnatural. See, I feel like she's looking into some unnatural shit, but okay. 5 skills.
Sure. Your current sanity minus your power is what your new breaking point is. So it would be your current sanity at the time you hit the breaking point, not 20 points less. Because
Okay.
you're not paying attention.
I wasn't paying attention. No, you're right.
Well, assume something like, let's just assume it was 45. Let's say you hit it exactly.
Okay.
What would 45 minus power be?
My power is
I'm sorry, not 45. It's your. I lost it again. I just had it. Sanity, your current sanity minus power. Yeah, so it would have been 45. Yeah, so 45 minus power. What's your power?
the score is 13.
Yeah, so 45 minus 13 is 32. So your breaking point should be 32, which is higher than your current sanity points. So you would have hit it again. So at 32 minus 13 would be your 32 minus 13 is 12 minus 3 is
It's 19.
9. Yeah, 19. So your current breaking point is 19, and you're getting 2 disorders.
Okay. You guys don't have to sit here while I pick those. I can pick those out
you
and
can
have
pick
them
those
ready
off
for
camera.
next
So
time.
I think that is everything. Everybody got a new bond. Everybody lost a bond. Everybody did 3 things over the 20 years and had a little vignette of weirdness. All right. It took a bit longer than I expected, but
It's all good.
all good. So sorry to leave Gourmet and Gaucher a little bit on the sidelines there.
It's all right.
Look,
It's fine.
You're watching with popcorn. It was good. Delicious.
luckily, you didn't have any family members to kill off, so.
Right. Well, we
he'll
could have
mess with
killed
us
off,
later.
we could have killed off the ex-wife or something, but
Yeah.
no, it was just like, I don't want to have to traumatize Tom and Minty without cause. I was like, let me ask Mouse if she'll just let me mess
It's
with
still
her.
agreed. Trauma without
Okay.
cause. And you agree.
All right. All right. So we wrapping up for tonight then?
Yeah, so I think we're wrapping up for now. Do we have any announcements? Do we have Vampire tomorrow or something?
We have Dragon Age tomorrow night.
Dragon Age.
Masks and
Orbis's
Muses is
return.
coming back.
First episode of the season.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's coming back. Next Monday is our finishing our One Ring story. And then back to Q again on Mothership next Wednesday, and then back here again for more Delta Green. So we got lots going on next week.
Yeah, so join us, folks, if you're enjoying it. Let us know. If you're not enjoying it, get in the comments and make fun of us. So
Either way, let us
Drive the
know.
engagement up.
yeah, all credits are good credits.
Alrighty.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. You guys stick around, of course, after we close off if you want to hang out, and we'll see you guys later. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.